Hello, everybody, and welcome to WASD20 Live for our second session of Icewind Dale, Rhyme or Reason. I'm joined by my four amazing players here, and we're going to jump right in, and around the break time, I will let them speak a little more about things. But for now, we're going to jump right into our game. So, last session, our three adventurers at that time, Grukvar, Clay, and Fizwick, had a perilous fishing trip in Bremen and found themselves face to face with a strange lake monster. Avoiding near disaster on that front, they also faced the infamous knucklehead trout, landed a few, got paid a little bit of coin, and got pulled in only a couple times to the frigid water. They, upon landing back at the dock, were greeted by the sight of a figure clinging to some wreckage, floating back toward the dock. Carrying him back to the inn, Buried Treasures is the name of the inn here in Bremen. They found themselves warming themselves by the fire, and this is where we begin. Nikos, you are shivering on the floor of the common room, and the shivering your companions, your newfound companions, take as a good sign, and are now, you see them. You open your eyes, and you see three figures: a goblin, a water genasi, hulking in stature, and a dwergar. What a strange trio, sitting there, drinking ale, huddled around small oil lamps for warmth here in Buried Treasures. What do you do, Nikos? Oh, I think you're muted. We can't hear you.
Someone cast silence on me!
There we go.
Is there a fireplace around?
There is. It is meager, and you happen to be right in front of it right now.
Okay.
Thawing out on the ground.
Okay. Are there any more of the oil lamps floating around?
There are a couple on tables, and there seem to be a couple that are not lit on other tables here in Buried Treasures.
Nikos will, while shivering, dripping with water, sort of walk over to one of these lanterns, and the unlit ones, and take it. Rather forcefully, he'll sort of pry it open and just dump the oil into the flame, and try to warm himself up. As he says, "Oh, it is cold, too cold. By my knowledge, this is probably the third most frigid I have been ever since my ex-wife's bedchambers, from which I left. These are truly heinous conditions for any man of my stature. You three, did you pull me out of the water?"
Oh, soaking wet you were. We took you out real good.
Indeed we did.
I recognize you. You three, you were on the fishing barge, the one which was going after the trout.
Fortunately, we don't recognize you.
You bastards!
Oh, I'm
God.
sorry.
Oh God, I've killed one.
I'm sorry, guys. I just realized I'm totally screwing up the overlay. So
I
if our audience is our audience is confused, that's my bad. I did not lock the shoot.
Oh, there we go.
What have I done? All right.
All right, everyone in chat, if you would like to know, live streaming comes with what we like to call technical bugbears. So we need to rally the troops with the BB button. So anyone in chat who's watching right now, just hit BB repeatedly until we bash those bugbears to death.
Thank you for that. Yes, that is the solution. All right. I am not going to move my Zoom window again. Man. All right. Minor technical difficulties. I feel like I didn't have this problem. There we go. Yes. We do have an upgraded sound system tonight, so you may notice some sad trombones among other things.
That's a weird feature to add to an upgrade.
Yes, it is.
Sad
Get
trombone.
better sound quality and sad trombone.
Okay, I'm really struggling here with. Okay, I think I need to make it smaller and then I can find it. There we go. Okay, I see you, Grukvar. Well, hey, this is better than the 40 minutes late technical bugbears we experienced last time.
Yeah. Watch the problems unfold in real time.
Behold.
It's a second adventure.
So, Nikos, why don't you describe, while I'm doing this, what the other players' characters see as you lift yourself off the warm ground here by the fire?
So Nikos is a just an average human-sized bipedal humanoid. For all appearances, he appears to be a gray or pale-skinned human with almost very leathery-like skin, like what you would imagine you'd see if someone spent a lot of time getting tanned out on the beach. Very thick kind of skin. He wears a lot of very loose-fitting, baggy clothes, covering his mouth and his head with a cowl and a kind of like a scarf. Even if he speaks, he tries to be careful not to raise his his lower jaw much beyond the scarf itself, and kind of speaks with a foreign cadence. Yes, just speaks with a kind of foreign cadence, very particular to a particular region, which I will not mention right now. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very good. All right, the rest of the party, you are huddled around the ale. I feel like, sorry, I interrupted a little bit of the interaction going there, but Nikos had asked if you had pulled him out of the water. Fizwick had replied that yes. Any other things you would like to do right now here in the common room of buried treasures?
Oh, well, Nikos says very poignantly, "You bastards! It was you! You took the job from the old fisherman. Do you know how much alcohol I had to force feed that sailor to finally get him to stand up to his stupid boss? The coin on that trip was phenomenal, and before I got a word in edgewise, he pulls the three of you, complete strangers, onto his ship, and I ended up on some sardine trawler getting flipped over by some long-necked bastard reptile."
Oops.
Oops, indeed.
If it makes you feel any better, we didn't make any money.
Well, it doesn't, because that still doesn't put coin in my pocket. Although, if it's coin you're seeking, maybe there is something that I could offer, both as a means of recompense for my rather frigid ice bath and for perhaps your troubles. A dear friend of mine is looking into a missing person, someone who's just been difficult to find, and it's not something that a single individual should really be undergoing.
Hey, Fizwick, see how that works? He's right up front that it's a missing person.
Yes, and well, to make a matter short, this person has a fair bit of coin that they'll be able to offer in order for us to, say, look into finding and retrieving said person. Would you be perhaps interested in salvaging some means of income.
How much are we talking?
But that I cannot say. The actual specifics still elude me, but she is quite well-to-do, a retired individual, so a lifetime's worth of savings should definitely see a reasonably generous reward for our efforts.
Sounds promising.
And she is, of course, a dear friend, so I don't suspect any form of skullduggery of the sort. Though, he says, looking down at his goblin friend, perhaps, a genteel touch. I'm not too familiar with, the goblins of the north, but, where I'm from, they can be a little bit, despite their light frame, heavy-handed.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't be too far off from the truth.
One eyebrow sort of raises.
Can we ask your name, friend?
My name is Nikos. Nikos is my name, and I am a traveling mage.
I'm Fizwick. Goblin at your service.
Grokvar here.
Clay, can I make an insight check on this stranger?
Yeah, sure.
Natural 20.
You wasted it.
Well,
So, yeah, I mean, you get the impression that seems mostly on the up and up here.
Would I, or I guess anybody else, know what he is?
So, I don't know about that. What do you think, Michael? Is there
It would
anything
definitely be-
in particular that would like really stand out as like, that's odd?
nothing revealed, but it would definitely. So I imagine things like the Durgar, the Drow, and all of that. All the creatures from the Underdark tend to have a certain pigmentation about their skin, a certain look that comes from those who don't generally get to see a lot of the sunlight. His skin carries that same kind of pigmentation. So while it's kind of clear he seems to be hiding a lot of stuff under his raggy clothes, you definitely get the impression that he's not giving all the details. But he definitely is also not entirely human.
Hmm.
Actually, yes, if there was a human version of what Durgar are to Drow, that's probably what you would imagine they would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I stink like fish. I just wish I could get it off. Everything stinks.
So it's getting pretty late in the night, and the owner of Buried Treasures here comes out, and she, now seeing that Nikos is awake, comes out with a bowl of broth and says, My dear, here, you look like you could use this. Please, be seated. And she actually lights one of the adjacent, it's like a long table. She lights another lamp closer to the end that you could sit at, and motions for you to sit with the rest of the party here.
Fizwick
I take-
immediately runs over.
I take my beer and I sit directly in front of the stranger and watch him eat.
Okay.
He'll look at it and he almost like goes to eat, but then will sort of stop momentarily, and sort of address the group, like almost like switching to a conversation. It is rather unusual to see such a unique group of individuals. Tell me, what brought all of you here? Surely the search of coin only draws those who are mercenaries or soldiers.
I live here. What brought you here?
The winds of change.
It's a good song.
He carefully ducks his head down and then puts the like almost like horizontal, and he puts the spoon to his lips.
I'm just here trying to have a good time. And when I don't have a good time, I'm gonna leave.
And then he just keeps eating his soup.
Oh, can't hear you, Alex.
Oh.
Nope, you're muted again, but yeah. I don't know if he was trying to say anything or not. Okay. So you guys hear in the background the owner. You can hear her kind of snapping at one of the kitchen staff, and she actually, comes back out, and she's got kind of her eyes look red. Looks like she's been crying, perhaps, and she goes over to the fireplace, stokes it a little bit, and she says, "Will you lot be staying the night tonight? It is the only inn in town, unless you have other arrangements."
So my friend is in the town of Bryn Shander. How far is that away from Bremen?
Yeah, so Bryn Shander, if we look at our map here, is about, oh boy, so I think it's probably about 4 hours, but let me just pull up my, actually, keeping this map on the wall. This will be better for me right now. Yeah, so it would be probably about 5 hours, actually, because to Targos, the nearest city, the nearest town, rather, to the southeast is about 2 hours, and then to Bryn Shander, we'd say probably another 3.
I, for one, would be grateful for a warm bed and a place to stay tonight. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
How many beds available?
Well, the thing is, I'm not too sure how familiar you are with Bremen's customs here, but, well, we're gonna have to be putting out the fire soon. Sacrifices must be made to Arl. Some towns, they choose other ways to appease the Frost Maiden in her wrath and freezing darkness over the region. But here in Bremen, we forego the light of fire and the warmth it provides during the evenings to try to appease her. And you all would know that this is customary in some of the 10 towns, and in others, they resort to human sacrifice, actually, to try to appease the Frost Maiden. And in still others...
Those two very large extremes.
Mm-hmm. In still others, they choose to leave food out in the fringes of outside the town that is probably taken by wild beasts, but the townsfolk believe that any such sacrifice could make a difference in ending the Frost Maiden's curse.
Well, who's this Frost Maiden?
So if you've been around Fizwick, you would know that like she is a lesser deity. But if you're wanting to hear her explanation, if you want to play dumb and ask her explanation, she could probably answer that. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, the Frost Maiden, it's hard to say. She has various possible appearances, and sometimes a snowy owl visage, sometimes a beautiful maiden of sparkling ice, so they say. But she is a lesser deity of sorts who seems to be trying to climb her way up the ladder. And we, here in 10 Towns, pay the price.
Okay.
And she goes, "Oh, more broth?"
Please.
And she goes to the kitchen and and stomps away. And she says, "Oh, before I forget. So yes, about the rooms. We do have some individual rooms, but the cold being what it is, it's many of our guests do choose to have a room that has, well, we've got 3 of them, and they each have 6 bunk beds, and some, you probably all know this, but some say that that can help with the cold, keeping more bodies in one confined space."
Sounds fair.
We recognize your sacrifice, and we're grateful for a bed all the same.
Thank you. And if I could be so bold, if you happen to want to repay for the hospitality in extra, I know you're already paying coin. My son, he's missing. He's been gone for some time now. He was a great help to me here. If you ever hear the name Huarwar, tell him his mother misses him.
Okay.
You look like you lot see a bit of the road, so just in case.
We'll keep an eye out.
Thank you. And she returns to the kitchen, brings out more broth, and then after a bit of time says, "Did you then want the bunk room or individual rooms or double beds? What say you?"
Bunk sounds good to me.
All right. That'll be 20 silver. And
How much for the individual room?
the individual rooms are 12 silver each.
I'll take one of those.
Okay. And so you guys can go ahead and subtract that coin. Go ahead and subtract another maybe 1 silver for we'll say 2 silver for some of the food and ale. And then I guess the 3 who are sharing the room, we can just say we'll just say 6 each. Okay, 6 silver each. And you guys can head up if you would like to. You can stay, but you see that she is now putting out the fire and going around and blowing out the oil lamps.
Fizwick runs off the bed. Doesn't even say anything, just walks away.
Okay.
Nikos will sort of mutter under his breath, "Religious poppycock." And he'll also go up to the bunks.
I'll watch them both go up. Alex, did you go up too?
Grugfar, before he heads up, he just goes to the door of the tavern, opens it, and just looks outside both ways down the street. Anything of note out there?
No, you don't see a single person. Howling wind.
Okay.
Snow. It's not snowing too hard at the moment, but a bit of snow blowing around.
Okay. I turn back into the tavern or the inn and close the door behind me and head up to the bunks.
All right.
Okay, so Clay is gonna walk over to what was her name?
Her name is Cora. I don't think she actually told you, but her name is Cora.
Okay. And I'm just gonna like quietly sort of tap her on the shoulder and ask her, I will certainly keep an eye out for your son. Can you tell me more about him?
Well, yes. Well, the thing is, he took a job, I guess you could say. Went out one night, Actually, it was a search party for a missing person they believed lost in a blizzard. And, ironically, he didn't come back. Came back the next morning. And didn't come back with the rest of the party who had been out on the search party.
Where were they searching?
Just in the surrounding areas. They found the person, but Huarwar had gotten lost. And he just was different after that. He had a strangeness about him. A few days later, 2 tieflings came, and they, invited him over. They had a short conversation, and he said he was leaving, taking a job with them. Haven't seen him
Strange.
since.
How was he strange?
More cruel. Uncharacteristically so. Just mean. I don't know.
Did it seem natural?
No. In fact, he was wearing a bit of a necklace. Like a piece of black ice, it looked like. And, well...
The tiefling showed up immediately after he came back?
No. 3 days or so, I'd say. Maybe 5 at most. I wasn't really keeping track, but they were wearing them too. So, Icewind Dale's a big place. Just, if you don't mind keeping your eyes open, or your ears open for the name, Huarwar.
We certainly will. If you think of anything else that might help, let me know.
I certainly will.
Good
Thank
night, and thanks again for the rooms.
Good night.
And I head upstairs.
All right. So, you guys pass the night huddled together in around the bunk bed, all except Clay. It's really cold, really, really cold, and the maybe 1 fur per bed is not really doing it too well. So probably most of you might even keep your outdoor clothes on, or if you've taken them off, put them back on, because the night is cold. The wind kind of just blows right through the slats here and there of the inn. Doesn't provide much insulation. And Clay, why don't you go ahead and make a constitution check for me as you're sleeping alone, just to see maybe how fitfully you sleep.
Constitution?
Yeah.
Oh boy. 10.
Okay. So there's definitely...
Yeah.
What's that?
Save, right? Or no, sorry, 8.
Yeah, just... Okay. Yeah, so you definitely don't sleep very well. Not gonna say you're exhausted, but it's definitely a fitful night of sleep for you. And you're feeling it the next morning as you're just taking so much of your attention trying to keep warm. Yeah, anything else you guys would like to do here as we get into the wee hours of the morning and you start to see a bit of light through the windows?
Throughout the night, if it gets particularly cold, what I'd like to do is just, because I have a couple of spells, like, Firebolt, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to cast Firebolt, but I kind of want to just sort of create that small sense of light and warmth underneath the blankets, just sort of every now and then when it gets particularly chilly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I think, sure, conjuring a bit of that warmth here and there, and yeah, just feeling it maybe even in your fingertips slightly, as they, get some feeling back into them, and possibly even holding them to your body a bit. Yep, I like it.
Notice Fizwick off to your side. You didn't even hear him pull up. He's just been sitting there, just kind of enjoying the warmth.
God, no more skiing hard. Oh,
Oh, so nice. I like Nikos. He's bringing the nice fire.
You're like a living burn barrel in an alley.
that's it. I'll accept it. These goblins are clearly a lot friendlier than I was led to believe.
Good stuff. Okay. So, morning is here, a new day here in Bremen, and you hear a couple people clunking around down on the main floor, in the common room, in the kitchen. Cora, you can hear her voice calling out, just kind of fussing about this and that being clean, and we need more of this thing, and stuff like that.
I would be up with the sun, probably down at a table already, eating
All right.
and drinking whatever the cheapest swill she has.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good. Others?
Grukvar actually is up early as well, goes up to Cora and just says, Miss, is there anything we can do to help you this morning? Any chores you need help with?
Well, very kind of you to ask, and she's like very busy, just kind of wiping down tables, and very kind, darling, but no, I insist. You're my guests? No, absolutely not. Thank you for the offer, though. You're very kind, very kind. And she just kind of keeps on busying herself. And
okay, he just sort of ducks his head and heads to the table.
Okay. Yep, she says, porridge on the menu this morning, gents. Can I get you a bowl?
I'll have an ale, please.
Okay. She brings out... Yep, it's just a simple-looking gruel. She kind of brings out a pot and plops them into bowls, and but it actually smells surprisingly delicious, and it's hot. That's the main thing. Not much to look at.
Does it smell delicious to Nikos?
I would say it probably smells delicious to most normal. Well, that's kind of an odd thing to say in this party. So yeah, I mean, it definitely has a bit of a savory, buttery smell to it, and maybe just a hint of sweetness.
Nikos will again sort of be very cautious while he eats, but after a couple of spoonfuls, will maybe slide his bowl in the direction of Fizwick.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you, Nikos.
You're welcome.
Yes, this is perhaps not the finest dining, but for most residents of Bremen, it doesn't get much better. It's the sad reality.
I glance over at Nikos and say, he hardly needs your charity.
No, I don't imagine so. But nonetheless, the people here are welcome to their cold and frigid and nasty lifestyle. But I, however, have sights set on the big city. When you are ready, I believe we should make our way to Bryn Shander as soon as possible. The sooner we can get some extra coin in our pocket, the sooner we can enjoy a little better.
Okay, I would like to go where the fireman goes. He keeps me warm and hungry and full of food.
Yes, I am fond of.
I agree. We should look for coin wherever we can, and for now, I think you're trustworthy enough.
Okay.
Very well. You are a local here, am I not correct, Clay?
Here, no. Here and everywhere. I make my way, sleep where I can, make money how I can.
So when I say you are local, do you mean that you are from Toril? Or are you Icewind Dale? Are you from this town? Are you from where do you hail from?
That's
Those
more
are-
That's more complicated than I think I will share right now. But
Then allow me to make the question a little bit more simple. Would it be better to walk on foot through the frigid snow, or perhaps should we look at getting something akin to sled dogs, for example?
would I know the complete answer to that, Nate?
So you would probably know that it is, there certainly is.
I mean, I certainly
some-
know how to travel, but do I know, like, would I know from this particular town what the best way to get somewhere else would be?
So by sled dog, let me give you guys the rundown here, and just so you can see, or so you can know how long it takes to get places. So let's see. Bryn Shander.
While you're doing that, Michael, the people in the chat are asking if you can turn up your mic a little bit.
Yeah, all right, one sec. How's that? Better? No.
I guess we know who the chat's least favorite person's going to be.
All right. So overland travel. Let me look this up here. Sorry, I'm way on the wrong page, and I didn't have the sled dog stuff up. Okay.
It's not too likable, is he?
Okay. I'm guessing this will be in the overview, but I think the if I can't find it here, we'll probably just say that like a sled. Oh, here we go. To have a sled dog is probably going to be very expensive for whoever owns it. That's the reality, because mainly the upkeep of actually feeding said dogs can get very expensive. But they can be purchased if you would like, or they can often be borrowed or rented, so to speak. However, oh gosh. Okay, there we go. Got it back now. Oh, now I lost it again. Yeah, so to buy an empty sled costs 20 gold pieces, and to buy a sled dog is 50 gold pieces. It doesn't say anything about, renting, so to speak, but I would say you could probably find a ride to Bryn Shander on a sled dog if you wanted to try to look for that, and that would probably cost about, we'll say, 2 gold pieces to get to Bryn Shander per person.
Fizwick has money. He has 50 gold. He would like to take dogs.
And it is about, I would say, 4 times faster than walking in general. But to walk to Targos and then to Bryn Shander would be about 5 hours total.
So okay, so we can so I relay that message to him as far as being able to find a ride. Is it normal for people to have like horses in this part of it that we could perhaps buy or do a wagon thing, or is it pretty much just sled dogs and by foot?
There are also axe beaks, which are, these big, picture like almost like a wampa from Star Wars, only with it's a bird and it's got a big axe-shaped beak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chocobos.
And
Really
those
mean
are
chocobos.
those are about 50 gold pieces as well, usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Our chances of finding someone heading into town would be better than purchasing and then trying to figure out a way to keep the animals alive once we get where we're going.
then perhaps seeing if we can temporarily purchase some of these small animals, like perhaps the axe beaks you speak of, for such a short distance might be best.
Can I ask Corin if she knows of anyone heading out of town today?
Boy, I'm not sure actually if there's anyone headed out of town. We do get the occasional travelers, but you know, a fair bit of in and out. But I don't happen to know actually.
Fizwick has 50 gold. He would like to get some dogs.
Oh,
I'm not sure we would all fit. I'm not sure we would all fit on one sled.
I'll get 2 of us. I'm gonna take Nikos.
Thank you for your hospitality, Fizwick.
And then we just get some more dogs and you 2 can ride on them.
It's an ongoing cost, though, isn't it? I mean,
I unfortunately don't have the funds to purchase a second dog.
I am
and a
fortunate
sled.
enough to have. I am fortunate enough to have a few coins spare. 50 gold is something I could be able to, let's say, loan, for the purposes of course, achieving our goal of reaching Bryn Shander efficiently.
Our goal?
Well, then,
it's your goal, is it not?
Yes, no, of course, but you want the gold as well, yes.
I do.
I mean,
For the most part, what I mean to say is that once we arrive, if for whatever reason we must part ways, then I will still have a extra pair of dogs, so it will not go to waste.
who will we watch the dogs as when we're on our mission?
The sled dogs, Matt. You just gotta tie them up and they'll watch themselves. It's a husky.
Nate, is
I
there
don't
like
think
a
that's
like
how
I know
that
there's obviously
works.
stables for horses, but is there like kind of a kennel for sled dogs and stuff?
yeah, I would say probably in Bryn Shander, there would be a small kennel for sled dogs. I don't think that in a town this size you would be able to find them for sale, however. But certainly, you know, if you wanted to try to A, find a ride from someone who happens to be traveling in that manner, or B, ask the kennel if, you know, they happened, you know, how much a ride would be in terms of like almost like a form of public transit. And if you wanted to buy them, certainly, you know, in the future, some of the bigger cities or bigger of the 10 towns would definitely have it. But Bremen's a pretty small little town, population about 100.
Would I have already known that they had a kennel?
Yeah, let's go with sure. If you think you would know, then absolutely.
Okay.
Also-
I mean, I feel like I've been here long enough to have been to each of the 10 towns probably at least once.
Sure. Yep. I think that's reasonable.
Also, want to point out that Fizwick is his second highest skill is animal handling with +4. He's really small, and he's probably, when it comes to transportation, he's probably seen his sled once or twice here before. So he's really confident on using sled dog.
Also, Nate, from what have you explained, is this just a one-time 50 GP purchase per dog and the cost of the sled, and that's it? You don't have to pay additional GP down the line to like feed the dogs, etc. Or is it like an upkeep cost to this sort of thing?
There would definitely be an upkeep cost, and to pull a sled would probably take at least 4 dogs. So you're looking at probably 200 gold just in the dogs for the initial cost. And then you also have the upkeep of, and I would have to, you know, try to figure out that if you guys decide you want to go that route at some point, how much that would cost.
If we are going to trust this stranger and head to Brennan, I think our best bet is to head to the stables first and see if they have anybody leaving town in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Very well.
So
Lead the way.
So yeah, you guys make your way out to the blustering snow. Immediately kind of sweeps you out the door, and you make your way over to where Clay knows of a kennel, and a small building kind of on the outskirts. You can hear some dogs barking. You see a man throwing pieces of, and kind of tearing off pieces of knucklehead trout and kind of tossing them into the kennel, dogs barking and kind of fighting over it. And he turns to you and says, "Well, good day. What can I do you for?"
Fizwick gets a whiff of that trout and he's had it. He's had it with fish. He can't even stand the smell of it.
Nikos kind of pats him on the back to help him. It's okay. Get it all better out than in.
Oh, I roll my eyes. We were wondering, sir, if you had any knowledge of a sled heading towards Bremen today.
Well,
that might fit all four of us.
Well, I do have 2 sleds here, so Ryan, you meant Bryn Shander, right? Because you're in Bremen right now.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah. So he would say, but I was hoping to actually take him out for a little fishing myself today out on the lake, some ice fishing. I don't know. I don't think I'm up for it today.
Up for fishing?
No, I don't think I'm up for giving anyone a ride today, or letting anyone take my dogs.
Nikos will walk up to this individual. I'd like to cast the friend spell, if possible, to give myself an advantage on a charisma check.
Sure.
As I say, it is okay, friends. This hardy man of the town of Bremen, a proud son of the ice and snow, lives off the land like everyone else. People like us who don't come from such fine stock will always find it difficult to live as this man does. He will always do what's right, feed his family, take care of those who hold close to hearth and home, would not abandon his friends and his comrades to the icy, frigid lands, knowing full well the dangers that lie within the icy snow. No, this is a good man. Do not worry. I wish you well on your ice fishing. We, however, will continue to Bryn Shander on foot. Thank you, friend. And I'll sort of pat him on the back, and I want to I want to try and use my +5 guilt trip on him.
Would Clay know what was happening?
Does that spell have any visible effect? Or I don't know. Or would you?
I imagine, so it's a
Or would you wink at them?
I don't think he'd wink at them.
Yeah.
But there is a material and a somatic component, so it would be more like a gesture of sorts. So you would probably see him reach into his back pocket and then sort of make almost like this sort of sigil or rune in the air, and the tips of his fingers would glow momentarily before it sort of faded away. And then he would speak. I would like to basically deceive this individual, try and trick him into with my double speech to try and convince him to come and help us out.
Yeah. So he says, those are some big, nice words you got there, and you can go ahead and make your roll.
All right. Let's see. No, it's not button. How do I roll dice on this?
Fizwick isn't too smart, so anytime he sees magic, he's just in awe. So when he did his little maneuver there, you could just see him down there.
I can't seem to... Oh, there it is. Sorry.
So yeah, and if that gives you advantage, definitely use that.
Okay.
And so sorry. Yeah, this would be probably a persuasion.
Persuasion? Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just trying to find the dice on... there we go. Yep. All right. So... right, so that is a 15 and a 14. Dropping the 14 brings my persuasion to an 18 in total.
Okay, yeah, so he kind of says, well, you know, I guess I could provide for my family by other means. Like, I mean, like maybe y'all could pay me to give you a lift.
I'll pull out 5 gold pieces. I have but a modest savings. Would this suffice? And
I hold up a hand. And I ask the gentleman, how much is a fish worth, and how many would you have caught today?
Oh, that's, I guess, kind of hard to say. Depends on the day, but you know, a few.
And how much would you take for? I mean, how much value would you place in one of those fish?
I just like probably few coppers, you know, maybe 5, 6 copper.
And how much do you normally charge to travel to? How much would you normally charge to take somebody where they need to go?
Well,
This far?
you know, I think probably to Bryn Shander probably be about 5 gold pieces. If we want both sleds. Yeah, let's see. Both sleds probably be about 8. Yep. That'd about do it.
And Nikos, you're giving him 5 gold?
I've got 5 gold in my hand before you stopped me.
Okay.
So, we have a deal? Now,
yes.
hold on. One thing. I can only, you know, steer one of these sleds, so we'll need someone else to man the other one. Or to...
If only we had someone who knew how to handle sleds incredibly well. The skill and grace of a man of the icy north.
Anyone
If
good
only
with dogs?
someone was somewhere we could find that knew how to handle dog sleds.
It looks like your friend here has something to say.
Oh, Fizwick,
Oh,
you
yes.
know how to ride sleds?
Oh, being a goblin, I don't get too many rides. I have to ride on animals many times. So yes, I'm very good with dogs.
Ah, well, it seems as though we are arranged. At this point, Nikos will put the coins in his hand and clasp it together, looking at him soulfully in the eyes and say, "Thank you. Thank you, sir."
Well, yeah. Pleasure.
I
he'll
take
then turn to the group.
I take another 5 gold out and hand it to him.
Oh, well, yes, that's perfect. Thank you. I do appreciate it. So, yep, we'll just get things going here. You see him pull out a bar for one of the sleds, and he kind of lashes it and fits it to the middle of the back, and says to Fizwick, "You can just stand right on this bar here, and should do you just fine." Then he begins kind of, you know, fixing the dog's collars and harnesses, and within, you know, probably about 10 or 15 minutes, he gives the okay and says, "All right, I think we're just about ready to go. Anything y'all need?"
As you were doing that, Fizwick has gone around to every single dog and
Just nuzzle down their faces and oh, he licks and oh, he loves them so much.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no roll for that. Absolutely. You do smell like fish after all.
they would like me.
Mm-hmm. Some of them are getting a little too friendly with your coat, like, you know.
No.
All right. So you guys mount up on the sleds, and you know the kennel owner seems to know quite well what he's doing. Fizwick, have you ever done this before?
Oh, many times.
Okay. Then you
Usually
guys.
just with one dog though, but I can do this with more.
Okay. Yeah, you guys take off and seem to be gliding at a pretty easy pace across the snow. With
Nate,
yeah.
who is in what sled?
Yeah, I guess that's up to you guys to decide.
Okay.
Fizwick is driving one, and this man the other. So there's, going to be 2 in one and 1 in the other, along with, some material, some supplies, and things like that that are also loaded on the sled.
I'm gonna go with Fizwick if that's okay, Gruckbar. I'm gonna make sure he gets where we're going.
And I'll go with Nikos.
All right. Very good. So you guys, you guys are with the kennel owner, and gliding across the snow. Fizwick, you probably are kind of taking, you're probably in the back, kind of looking at what this man is doing and probably picking it up pretty easily. If you haven't had this much experience with, 4 dogs pulling a sled, 8 dogs total here. But why don't you go ahead and make an animal handling check to see how this goes for you?
That would be a 7.
Okay, with your bonus?
Sure is.
Okay. So at some point in your journey, the sled seems to topple and to the side, teetering, and then and off the side a little bit. And
Come on.
all right. The kennel owner comes back and he says, "Here, let me help you up." He kind of backs around, turns around, hearing the commotion behind, and the dogs seem to be no worse for wear, really. They're doing okay, and he kind of helps you back up, gets you
Help
back.
the kennel owner right the sled, pack things back up.
Yep.
Nikos will turn to Grokvar. I'm suddenly very glad that we've decided to go with the kennel owner.
You and me both, friend.
Oh, I'm sorry, Clay. I'm not used to doing with so many dogs, and you're kind of heavy, so this is new to me.
Do better next time.
Will do.
So the kennel owner, and by the way, we'll just call him Kennett. All right, his name is Kennett, and he kind of gets back on and says, "All right, y'all, let's try it again here. We're almost passing Targos here, and then Bryn Shander's just a little bit beyond that." And you guys get back on, and so between Targos and Bryn Shander, why don't Fizwick you make one more animal handling check?
11?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's some bumps, and you seem to be struggling at times. The dogs are, not as coordinated perhaps as Kennett's are, but you managed to keep it aright at least this time, and head off in the direction.
Oh, I'm puckering hard, you guys. I'm puckering hard.
All right, so you guys do see eventually, after some time here, the gates of the city of Bryn Shander, which is the largest town, a walled town perched atop a cold, lonely hill. Bright lanterns are suspended over the walls and near the gate to illumine any passersby, and the gates do happen to be open at this time as you enter Bryn Shander. Some guards just kind of, looking folk over, not really stopping to question or anything like that. But if you would like, Kennett kind of, veers off to the side there near the gate and says, "All right, y'all, thanks again, and I wish you well on your journeys."
Thank you. We would not have been able to make it here without you. Here, some extra for your troubles. I'll hand him another 3 gold pieces.
Well, oh my, you are most generous, and I'm not normally a big fan of, the ferrying thing. But you all pay well, so come on back to Bremen anytime. And
Well, thank you, dog man.
absolutely.
Thank you, friend.
And he kind of, gives you guys one last look. He definitely, a little bit like confused by the four of you as he's looking at you walk away toward the gate. Like, oh, strange group. Yeah. And he turns around and he actually is going to just kind of park along the edge of the wall a little bit further down because he is going to have to find some assistance in getting the other sled back to Bremen. So he pulls over near the wall away from the gate a little bit, and you see him heading that way. As you enter the city of Bremen, it seems to be, a fairly bustling. It's dark because it is now past, well, I would say the aurora that lights the sky here in Icewind Dale for the 4 hours a day is just starting to fade, and darkness is settling in. A little bit of moonlight, perhaps, but the streets, the day is still young, and the streets are full of people bustling about and doing some shopping, trading, and the like. And Nikos, you happen to know that your friend is in contact, is hanging out at the North Look, which is a tavern on the north side of town, an inn and tavern on the north side of town. So, do with that what you will. Yes.
So Nikos, as he sort of climbs off the sled and takes a look around, Nikos seems to try and find a way. How familiar am I with where Northlook would be?
So I would say I'll let you decide how familiar you are with Bryn Shander. It's the biggest city, and I feel like you would probably have some idea if you think you've been around town.
Yeah, I'll try and find a way that tries to avoid like the main streets or the main thoroughfare. Specifically, I'm going to be trying to not necessarily hide, but just kind of avoid the notice of the local guards here, as I say to the others, this way, my friend will be waiting for us at the North Look, or at least that is where we'll be able to find her. Her name is Helen, and she is a dear friend, so please be kind.
Mm-hmm. You manage to make your way. Yeah, you pick a route that manages to avoid the main thoroughfares, and you arrive at the Northlook Tavern. It's go ahead.
Before we make it there, I want to, like, as we start walking, I want to pull Gruckbar aside and say, I didn't get a chance to tell you this before we left, but I noticed your kindness to the barmaid, and I know that it is appreciated, even though she turned you down. Let's keep an eye out for her son, shall we?
I agree. I tried to make a conscious effort, go above and beyond, and I appreciate that you saw it, and I will keep an eye out as well. By the way, what's her name?
The barmaid?
Yeah.
It was Cora.
Cora. Good, thank you.
All right, so as you arrive at the Northlook Tavern, you find a bustling crowd. It is rowdy, it's rough, there's yelling, sounds of a fight out back, and some people kind of egging it on and cheering. It's a rough and tumble crew here, mercenaries and adventurers, not too different from yourselves, really. What would you like to do as you enter here?
Oh, this place is awesome.
It's not as great as it looks. I've been here many times. Nikos, why take such an indirect route?
Sometimes it is Sometimes it is best to travel where one can enjoy the fruits of the beautiful countryside, as well as the pleasures of being able to explore the one of the finest cities in Icewind Dale.
How much BS do I sense coming from him right now?
A little bit. He's very eloquent.
Is Nico eloquent or is Michael eloquent? But yes, no, I definitely am attempting to, I wouldn't say mislead, but definitely subjugate the route that I've taken.
Mm-hmm.
I, for one, don't think the countryside is all that beautiful. How about we take a more direct route to where we're going next time?
I will bear this in mind.
Mm-hmm.
As I arrive, looking around the tavern and seeing a number of people, do I see my friend Helen anywhere?
Mm-hmm. You do indeed. She's seated by a window, seems to be at a table by herself, but making chit chat with folks behind her, and you see her with a big mug of ale, and she's got a battle axe kind of leaning over her lap, sort of, and you can just kind of see the big old notched battle axe. Looks like it's definitely seen some use. She's fairly well dressed, blondish grayish hair, mostly gray these days, and tied back in a ponytail, and seems to be enjoying herself with the chit chat.
There, she's over there, and I make my way through the crowd over towards her. I'll flag down the barmaid and buy a round for everyone of the house ale, as well as for my friend Helen before I approach from behind.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so
I thought I'd find you here. I was worried that maybe after all of this time you may have drowned in the ale they serve here.
Nikos, so good to see you. And she's got this kind of just raspy, grizzled voice. She, if you saw her from a distance, you could say she's beautiful. And you could say the same, but as you get closer, you definitely see, those of you who have not met her before, just the creases of, her face. Almost like a sailor who's been out in the sun too much, looking maybe a bit older than he should. And she has, but she has a bright smile, maybe a missing tooth or two, but a nice smile, pleasant. She says, Nikos, did you put the crew together?
I have managed to find them. I'll take her hand and then sort of kiss the back of her palm, very gentlemanly, as it were. May we sit down?
Absolutely, and she seems kind of pleased with that treatment. She says, "Not many treat me like Nikos here. I've been around a bit, and if you found Nikos, you found a good one, I think."
You are too kind.
Indeed, it does look like you've been around, and it looks like you can handle yourself in almost any situation. So, if you don't mind me asking, what are we doing here?
Well, you see, there's a bit of a problem around here. There's been some murders, a series of murders, and, we need to find the culprit. The authorities aren't doing anything, so I take it upon myself once in a while, as a adventurous spirit, we'll say, to have some fun, catch some murderers, help some people, even, maybe. I don't know. And she takes another swig of ale, says, "Drink!" to the rest of you, if anyone's not drinking, seems to be drinking too slow. She must, come on, bottoms up.
Clay, grunts in sort of assent to her her reasonings for doing what she does, and sort of gives half a smile and downs whatever drink he has in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Nikos will leave the drink in front of him, but sort of smile as though he's enjoying himself.
Grukvar introduces himself and says, Grukvar here. Any leads so far?
My. Looks like we might have a... And she kind of peeks a little bit lower. A Duergar. Not too many of you folk around, but, well, I'm not the judgmental type.
Good to know.
Leads. Yeah, first... hold on. And she would look at Fizwick, too, and she says, and a damn goblin?
See, this is how people treat me all the time. It just never goes away.
Hey.
You can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
See?
Well, an odd crew, but
Well,
if you're friends of Nikos,
if I had not seen from quite far away them squaring off against a giant water lizard, I would not have believed it myself. Strange though they may be, they are reliable sorts.
well, that's good enough for me, that's for sure. Now, down to business. Well, you see the murderers. There's a pattern to them. Daggers of ice through the heart. Found, in any other environment, it wouldn't look like any sort of wound. But here, a dagger of ice stays frozen, no matter what. These days, anyway. So, I've taken it upon myself to try to do what I can to help out the 10 towns, and I actually do have a lead. Suffolk Caltro. He works for a traveling merchant company called Torgs. It's owned and operated by a shady dwarf type. Her name is Torga Icevein. Mostly stolen stuff, probably, I'm guessing. They make their way around the 10 towns. You may have seen them from time to time. There's a few of these types of groups. Traveling merchants and dog sleds full of stuff, and they pop up their tents and the like. But anyway, Suffolk. He's charming, makes friends easily. He's also Torga's bodyguard, so I'm guessing he's good with a blade. His victims, if he is indeed the murderer, and trust me, I'm 99.9% convinced on this. They only come from the 3 of the 10 towns that sacrifice people to the Frost Maiden on nights of the new moon. This is what passes for civilized behavior here in Icewind Dale. Savages. Suspicious lot. Maybe the victims found a way to keep their names out of the drawings, and Suffolk found out they were cheating. That's my theory. So, he kills them. Maybe. He thinks he's doing the Frost Maiden's work. Anyway, I followed Torgs for a 10-day as it moved from town to town. Quite the devious little enterprise, but that's not my concern. What struck me is how comfortable Suffolk Caltro looked in this weather. He had no coat, no scarf, no gloves. It was like the cold couldn't even touch him. Kiss of the Frost Maiden, if you ask me. Anyway, I'll pay you 100 gold pieces. Not each, for all of you. To apprehend Suffolk Caltro, ascertain his guilt, and if you find out he's guilty, by the gods, kill him. Take care of him without involving the authorities. When the job is done, I'll be here and collect your money.
100 gold pieces. It cost us 100 gold pieces to get a couple of dogs to come over here. We're gonna have to up that a little bit.
That's the job, my friend. Take it or leave it.
Well, we're getting
Also,
screwed.
it was cheaper than 100 gold. Don't listen to the goblin. But
I know
why
what a
not
dog's leg
involve?
costs.
Why not? Why not involve the authorities?
I've tried, trust me. They don't listen.
Well, if we have the man responsible, can we not get them to listen?
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, trust me. If he's what I think he is, that's kind of dangerous. This kind of blessing of the Frost Maiden. He'll get out of any situation you put him in. And if there's others who are allied with the Frost Maiden and her aims, I just can't trust it, you know?
Well, the outcomes of whoever is doing this, the outcomes of their deed are reason enough for me to look into it more. I'm game.
It is very easy for people to hide in such a large city. I fear as though this may take a little bit of effort, Helen. While,
Well,
of course, your gold is absolutely perfect. I know that you have friends in the city, people who are able to, scratch each other's back, as it were. We are also in the market for some sled dogs for ourselves, just while we are traveling. Perhaps if you hear of someone trying to rid themselves of some sled dogs, maybe on the cheap, you would be so kind as to let us know.
Yeah, I'll keep my ears open, see what I can, I hear a lot of chit-chat around here. She takes another swig.
I'm sure you do. I'll slide my drink over to her when she's done with hers.
Yeah, and she doesn't even really notice, actually. It's just like, she's just, kind of probably turns around and says something to the people behind her who she was talking to earlier and says, you know what I mean? And then turns back and there's a new mug of ale there. And she's like, oh. And she says, so you'll want to ask around. I'm not sure where Torgs is now. It's a traveling troupe, but got to be at one of the 10 towns. So, see what you can scrum up and, let me know if you need anything else. Sound good?
Actually, I would like something else. And speaking of asking around, have you heard the name Parwar in any of your travels recently?
No, it doesn't sound familiar to me. Sorry.
Keep your ears open. If you do, let us know, would you?
No, absolutely. Warwar, yeah, interesting name. All right.
Helen, could you describe to us the overall look of Sefik?
Sure can. You can't miss him with the lack of a coat and anything. But long, blackish hair, olive skin, usually hair tied back, very well dressed. Has this strange kind of bluish look in his eyes. Very distinctive.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Can you point us in the direction of this business? Where is their headquarters?
They don't really have a headquarters. It's a traveling group. So, ask around the market maybe. Some of the other vendors might know their routines a little bit better than I do.
Okay.
Well, we should probably get a move on. And thank you again, Helen. And hopefully, when we return, we will have good news for you.
Absolutely, that'd be great. All right, and she kind of turns and she actually gets up and walks away, walks over to the bar to talk to someone. And yeah, what would you guys like to do?
You notice that Fizwick has already left the scene, and he just got shoved down onto the ground.
I'm sorry, what?
He's over in the corner, and somebody just literally pushed him onto the ground.
Yeah. Damn goblins. Man, hate when those fellas come around here thinking they're something.
Oh, well, Nico's Oh, sorry. This Clay, were you about to say something?
Nope.
No?
Well, I was
Okay.
gonna say, we all are standing up ready to leave, but if you jump.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nikos will immediately go over to the guy who bowled over Fizwick, and as he does so, he puts a firm hand onto this guy's shoulder, and he kind of like just has this moment where he sort of squeezes a little harder, and he says, "I believe you owe my friend an apology."
Go ahead
All
and
I was
make.
trying to do is buy some beer, and he said the goblins aren't welcome in here.
Clay walks over and lifts Fizwick up like he has before by his coat up to the bar and he says, "Tell the man what you want."
I would like an ale, please.
Get the man an ale.
And Michael, why don't you go ahead and make an intimidation check to this guy who's sitting at the bar?
All right.
The bartender does get an ale, and he says, "Oh, of course. Yeah. You're fine in my book, little fella."
Oh, thank you.
So that is a 17.
Okay. Yeah, so the guy who pushed Fizwick, who's sitting at the bar, just says, "Oh, hey, no harm meant or anything. I do apologize." And he turns back to his friend real quick, or turns back to his beer real quick, and his friend is kind of looking at him like, and he's just like trying to keep his eyes down on his mug of ale.
Nico's kind of like, his eyes just watch this guy, and just sort of under his breath just whispers the word, "monsters."
All right.
Oh, thanks, Nikos.
And anything else you guys would like to do before you depart here?
I just usher Fizwick out as he drinks his ale, and I go stand outside. I don't know if he wants to follow or not.
Fizwick comes along.
Yeah, there's someone standing at the door who says, "Oh, can't take the mug outside there. Yep, leave the mugs. Finish it up."
I follow them all out, or whoever has left the building out, and then once we're all in a group, and I motion for us to all kind of huddle up, and I just say, "So to the market first, or does anyone else have any other places they'd rather go?"
I don't mean to be presumptuous, but Grakvar, as a Durgar, you are skilled in tracking, perhaps finding people who are hiding in difficult to find places.
Well, I can only rely on my wits. It's not a specialty that I have in particular,
Well,
if I'm being honest.
very well. If possible, however, I believe there are people who have much like with Port Fizwick, will have a predistinction to the type of company you keep. This might open up a few doors in the marketplace from those people who may have knowledge that they don't necessarily like to promote to the general public, if you follow what I'm saying.
I do.
Perhaps if you would, if we go to the marketplace, you might like to take the lead and see if you can find these people who trade information, at the tip of a blade or the bottom of a coin pouch.
That's right. I'll look for. I'll keep an eye out for those with the ruffian look. Is that what you had in mind?
Indeed.
I'll do that.
All right. So you guys head out, and we'll just say, for the sake of expediency, there's a bustling market, and you all kind of, maybe travel loosely in a group, but then once in a while, one of you will maybe split off and try to talk to some people, and the rest of the group kind of hangs back, and maybe you meet back in the middle here and there. And this sort of strategy, does that sound reasonable? And then I'm going to have you make an investigation check. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Fizwick has been following Grukvar and doing that thing we used to do as kids where you'd step on somebody's heel as they're walking, just pulling up their shoes.
It's the worst.
Clay does not talk to anybody. He just stands with the group and keeps an eye out.
Grukvar whips around like the third time that happens, and then grabs Fizwick and puts him bodily in front of him, and kind of gently pushes him ahead.
Oh.
So, if you guys would like to, anyone who is actually trying to, get information from people can go ahead and make a investigation check.
14.
Okay.
Fizwick ain't that smart, so he's just kind of along for the ride. He's not actually going around and doing anything. He's more amused by the birds and the crowd.
Yep.
With a 9, Nikos is not really that good at sort of observing details per se.
Mm-hmm.
He does seem to be a little bit more preoccupied with, again, still trying to avoid the eyes of the guards where he can.
Yeah. So, Grukvar, you don't really drum up any leads, but you do find someone who points you over to Sheena's stall and says, "Oh, Sheena over there, she is actually quite knowledgeable of the whereabouts of the various traveling companies. I'd recommend going and asking her.
Okay.
Don't know how friendly she is to your type, but it might be worth a try."
Okay. Before I go over there, I am going to use thaumaturgy to change the color of my eyes. I mean, as a Durgar, they're white. It looks like I'm maybe blind or something, but they're whitish. So I changed them just a brown in hopes that's going to help me kind of pass for just an average dwarf. And then I pull down my hat as far as I can to try and cover up as much skin as possible to try and look as dwarfish as possible.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good. Why don't you... so you head over to Sheena's stall, and she says, "What can I do for you?"
I've got some questions for you. First of all, what kind of business are you in?
Well, I mostly sell small chests and leather pouches and, storage devices. As you can see here.
Have you been selling here for a while?
Oh, yeah. Most of my life, really. And you can see she's like an elvish woman, has, dark brown hair and a hood pulled over, so you can't see too much of her, but you can see that she has elvish features.
Okay. Do you know anybody around here who does any forge work, any sort of smithery or that kind of thing? I imagine you do if you know probably many of these vendors.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's several blacksmiths around, and there's, I think, a fellow selling shields just down the way there.
Oh, okay. What about traveling companies? Are you familiar with any of those?
Oh, yeah, there's several of those groups that travel around in the markets here. I travel once in a while, I'll hit another town or three, but yeah.
On your own or with one of those traveling companies?
Oh, sometimes with you. I don't travel alone, trust me, not around here, but usually just with a few friends. Once in a while I'll hitch a ride with a traveling company of some kind. What are you looking for someone in particular? A certain blacksmith troupe or something?
Well, I work the forge myself, but as a guildsman, I like to make contact whenever I stop into town. I've done work here, in fact, for many years, but just trying to stay in contact and keeping abreast of all the goings on. Have you ever heard of a fella? And he's not a blacksmith of any kind that I know of, but a fellow named Sefik. Have you ever heard of that name before?
Sefik? No. Well, no. that name in particular is not ringing a bell. What do you know? What traveling company he travels with?
He's with Torgs most of the time, from what I hear.
Torgs, yeah. In fact, matter of fact, I think they're in. Let's see here. It was that last week. Next week it'll be. Boy, I'm pretty sure they're in. Is it Dugan's Hole? Dugan's Hole. No. That's not right. It's got to be one of the cares. One of them cares. What's the Care Dinaval? No, Care Koenig. Yep, it's gonna be Care Koenig if it's it's Wednesday. Yep, that's right. Care Koenig.
Durgan's Hall.
Thank you kindly, Sheena. I appreciate it. And if could you point me again in that direction of that Smith's shop?
Yep, that's just right about 4 vendors down and then 2 back. Yeah.
Wow, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for your help.
Yeah, no problem.
And then I want to head back and gather up with the crew to pass along that information.
Mm-hmm. Man, you worked that conversation so well that I forgot to even have you roll for it. So man, you're just smooth. I just got into it. And it was like, of course she would tell you. Like,
what would you have me roll?
You auto persuaded the DM.
It's true. It was just like, no, it's just natural. Maybe I just made her too nice. I think that's the problem.
Well, I just rolled just to check how I would have done on persuasion, and I got a 20.
Okay, well there you go. See,
she's so nice. She like gives you a bag for free as you walk away.
20.
Nice.
That's awesome. It only would have cost you 10 gold with a 20. So, wow. All right. So, we can. So, Care Koenig is the name of the town, and if you guys would like to, you could do a little more shopping here, or you can head on your way. The day is still young enough where you could make some progress toward Care Koenig today. And I'm estimating, if we go by what we said before, you would probably it would probably be about a 10-hour walk if you were to walk there. And if you were to go by another route, you could absolutely find another dog sled. Now we probably accelerate it a little bit beyond what we did last time. If you want to just say, yes, we rent a dog sled for 8 gold again. Or hitch a ride. But anyway.
If I'm being perfectly frank, before I thought maybe we could have a couple of sled dogs, but after seeing Fizwick's rather glorious stunt, perhaps some axe beaks for the time being for rental.
Oh man, I'm better than this. It was a fluke, I tell you.
I'm sure it was just an off day. I'm confident of this, but just in case it wasn't, let's not spend 200 gold too easily in the city. Besides, we have Helen looking for some sled dogs for us for later. For now, it might be cheaper to rent single creatures than it would be to rent several packs.
Would an axe beak carry me?
Yes, an axe beak would carry any of you. Yep.
Plus, Fizwick could get a free ride, couldn't he?
Fizwick could potentially ride with someone else.
I think I know who that is.
Yeah, I think. Hey, buddy.
This is short guy team.
This is your show, Nikos, so you make the decision and the payment.
Very well. I will head, or Nikos will head to the local stables, and try to procure some riding. I was gonna say chocobos. I really was. Some riding activity.
Elephants, I think is what you're looking for.
Yes. Olifants.
Unless they have like a mammoth. I'll take a mammoth as well.
Okay, yes, there happens to be one mammoth left with a small cottage on its back. No, that would fit all of you.
I prefer
I'm gonna call it Duncan.
compact cars.
All right. So you all managed to find a stable that does have some axe beaks, and the cost for this would be 8 gold pieces once again. And if you wanted to saddle up, you could head on your way to Caer Konig. It would take, and if you guys actually look at the map a second here, you can see that. Go ahead.
So that's 8 gold pieces per creature, right?
No, that's actually 8 gold pieces per person.
Right.
Oh yeah, you guys. Okay, so there's 3, I guess you're renting. Let's go with 3 gold pieces a piece. 9 gold pieces total. Okay. This is a bit of a longer trip, yep. And the rider from the stable would accompany you. Yes, so there's 4 total. And you guys can see on the map here that Bremen is far left. Bryn Shander is a little bit lower. And then you guys can see that Caer Konig takes you all the way over to Lacadinishir, pretty close to the largest kind of dominant peak in this region, Kelvin's Cairn, which is right here. Okay. Anything you guys would like to do before departing?
No, not especially.
All right. Then, so you mount up on your axe beaks. There's a little bit of, maybe difficulty in getting up on the saddle for a couple of you, but you manage to get in the saddle. Nikos alone, Clay alone, and Fizwick and Grukvar together.
Can I attempt to throw Fizwick up on top of the axe beak?
Absolutely. Go ahead and make an athletics check. Fizwick, are you willing?
Yes. To do this.
Like you're gonna have him ride the beak?
15. Rolled 15.
All right. Yes. Fizwick manages to kind of get on there, a little bit cattywampus maybe, but manages to cling to the saddle and sit upright.
Okay.
I will pay the vendor for the 3 axe beaks, and then we'll start to make our way.
All right, very, very good. So, you guys mount up on the axe beaks and are off on your journey. The plodding of the axe beaks, kind of kicking up the snow, the wind howling in the darkness here, just by a little bit of moonlight is all that is out there. And you make your way over the period of several hours. We'll say it's probably about 3 hours total. And during that time, you don't encounter any difficulty in your travels really, other than a bit of heavy snow for a few moments, and something that looks like is a blizzard coming, but it dies down just as soon as it starts up, and you manage to make it all the way to Caer Konig. And you see a set of tents set up. It looks like they're just beginning to tear them down here, and for the day, as the day is getting a little bit late and the main shopping point of the day is drawing to a close. Folding tents, packing up some sleds, and that is where we're going to take a short break. So, everyone stick around. We'll just be about 5 minutes here, a little bio break. And yes, we will see what happens here in Caer Konig, and if our players can find the killer. Thanks for joining us, everybody. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are back with more Icewind Dale Rhyme or Reason. Our players have just arrived at Caer Konig, and you have seen what looks like the disassembly of what might be Torgs, the traveling trading company. What would you like to do? You guys dismount your axe beaks, and I assume the person who loaned you and escorted you now takes them and rides off. Actually, I don't know. Would she ride off, or would you ask her to stick around for a bit? It was a one-way ticket, but it's the sort of thing where you can tell your taxi, hey, can you hold on a second? Because I actually want to go somewhere else. I just got to stop in here and buy some things. Illicit things. Okay. Yeah, and so she would say, well, a few hours. I mean, that's a while, but I mean, a gold piece, and I'll stick around for a couple hours. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So she's gonna hunker down and try to find like maybe a little kennel, or perhaps even just really, there's not much here. The side of a building, probably a little shelter from the wind.
An insignia or a logo or a banner that we could recognize?
Guys, first off, I think I had you guys muted, and I apologize. Can people verify that they can hear the players and not just me? I think that was my bad. Sorry, guys.
Hello.
Clay.
Grukvar.
Okay. Yes, they said they could hear only Nate, but I think we're good now. I turned on my desktop audio. So what was happening here was that the players decided that they did want to pay the Axebeak
we're still getting
rider.
They can't hear us.
I think it's gonna be
Is it delayed?
about 30
there they
second
go.
delay. Yep.
Yep, there we go.
Okay, yep, that's fine. Yep. Never
Okay.
mind. Carry on.
So anyway, our players decided, Nikos decided to pay 1 gold piece to have the rider stick around for a while with their axe beaks, just in case they need to travel again. And then Clay, what did you ask Nikos?
I asked if, since this is kind of his show, if those look like the types of folks we might want to question about this.
Nikos looks over at the disassembled. It looks like they're packing up to travel again. Is there a symbol of the Torg company that we would recognize, like a logo, a banner, insignia, or anything of the sort?
That is a very good question. Yeah, we're gonna say that there is actually a gold wolf paw on a black flag, and it's likely actually that Helen probably would have told you that, and you do see that here flying as they are seeming to pack up for the day. Mm-hmm.
Yes, these seem to be the people we are searching for. I think again we maybe keep our heads together. If the person we are seeking is indeed here, then they may make a run for it.
Do we see anybody that looks like that he might fit the description we were given?
How close do you guys want to get?
I'll walk right up.
Well, there you go. I'll follow.
Because I would prefer to stay back a bit, so maybe it would be less intimidating if just one person goes in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I'd like to stay back like at least like 30 or 40 feet.
I actually think Clay would follow.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on, wait. I caught that. Fizwick, where are you?
Fizwick has just disappeared. You don't see him at all.
He actually never came along. He's still back at
Damn it.
he's just drinking in a tavern.
We need a bell.
He fell off the axe beak and no one noticed.
Yeah, I know. That's as far as I got. I know we threw him on the axe beak.
He actually got squished. There's green blood on the snow.
Fizwick has taken his cloak, and he has a fur cloak. On the inside, it's got white fur. And for a reason, he likes to be able to blend in with rocks or the snow. And nobody knows where he's at. He's
This is gonna be like the Looney Tunes cartoons where all of a sudden like a white clump is gonna lift up and move across the snow and there's just gonna be two black feet.
So, yeah, Fizwick, go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Okay. 19.
Okay. Yeah, so the main group, well, I guess the two of you, other than Grukvar, walk down kind of the middle row there as people are packing up, and there are a few others around as well who are maybe getting some last minute shopping done, or just kind of talking amongst themselves, sipping some hot liquids and just kind of chit chat as the market's packing up. And Fizwick, you happen to see. So are you maybe on the back end of the stalls here rather than the main drag, or what? I couldn't catch where you were. Sorry.
I'm kind of close to the camp, like where you're saying, like on the main drag. Close enough that I can see like what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. So, Clay and Nikos, you do see a dwarf, a woman with red hair, and she seems to be kind of bossing people around and kind of managing things, lashing things to to a couple sleds, and saying, all right, we leave in the morning, gonna have to find a place to hunker down for the night here. And she seems to be giving orders. She looks a little rough and tumble, and you do see her seeming to like pay some workers, and you do catch someone with long black hair in a ponytail, seems to be wearing too little clothing, and she seems to be paying him as well.
I nudge Nikos. Say, do we talk to the boss or do we just go straight after that guy over there?
Looking over at the guy, a couple of questions. Number one, is he? I mean, obviously it's super cold. Is he very, like, how can I put it? Is he wearing obviously too little for the weather that we're in?
Yes. He is wearing a white shirt and sort of a it's almost like a vest, but it has short sleeves and leather vest of some kind. Yep.
Okay. And
he has a sword at his side.
Is he nearby any of the other workers or anything like that?
Yeah, he's very close. He seems to be leaning against one of the poles, talking to a couple others as a small crowd of 6 or 7, I'd say, in the general vicinity within 15-20 feet.
Okay. Nikos looks.
How far away is he from us?
Oh, I'd say probably about 30 or 40 feet, depending on how close you want to approach.
And then the woman, the red-haired woman, is she closer yet?
Yeah, I would say probably. Yep.
Okay.
I think.
And she's Oh, sorry. She's surrounded by other people at the moment.
Yeah, there's a small crowd. I mean,
Okay.
like I said, 6 or 7 people within the area.
I think perhaps for now we do not alert our quarry into knowing that we are looking for them just yet. Maybe there's a way for us to catch them a little off guard. If there is a misunderstanding, we might have to face all of the Thor company simultaneously in order to capture them. Perhaps we should speak with the forewoman first.
Sounds like a plan. How do we get her by herself?
Well, we simply pose as individuals seeking to hire or to look for work. There seem to be plenty of those wayward stragglers that they have to, that they seem to be paying to lift and carry and push. That does not mean that there cannot be others.
Interesting. The 4 of us, or just us 2?
Well, I don't know where Fizwick has gone, but perhaps we haven't gotten too far away from Grokvar, have we?
No, I would say probably about 60 feet.
Keeping an eye on you. I'm keeping an eye on you.
Yeah, I'll come back and I'll sort of say to Clay, we'll just go tell Grokvar and maybe see if he wants to come with while we if we are attempting to pass ourselves off as workers.
Grokvar just joins your group, joins you, comes with you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, if we're all agreed, then Nikos will along with the others, I hope, will go to the forewoman.
Is it possible to say that Grokvar would feel the step on the back of his foot, but turn around and not see anything? What I need to do, like some kind of check.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make an opposed stealth and perception check there. So Grokvar can roll perception, Fizwick roll stealth.
So I'm getting the idea that you have like a 2nd grade crush on Grokvar.
Yeah, I rolled a 24.
I rolled a 27.
Oh!
My stealth is really high.
My perception is really high. It's +5 for a perception check. But your stealth is better. Stealth is better. I look back in a frustrated, and I kind of have the sense of what's happened there, but I cannot see you, and I just sort of punch the air. Frustrated sort of air punch.
Would we have seen that?
No, because I'm still kind of lagging behind you a little bit from where I'm walking. I don't think you would have seen it, unless you guys think you would have. Okay.
So you guys approach the just ramshackle area once again here of Kaer Konig, and there is they're continuing to sort of pack up. They're getting close to being finished here. What would you like to do?
Nikos approaches the woman yelling orders. As he does so, he sort of calls out to her. Good morrow, lady. A word, please.
Yes. What'll it be?
My name is Clayton, and these are my my fellow friends. We seem to have found ourselves in a little bit of a predicament. Alas, we have some rather loose pockets and some sticky fingers here in the town, and we have found ourselves without means of travel.
Can't help you. I'm sorry.
Oh, but we are, of course, more than willing to work labor for safe passage. My friend is quite strong, and of course, my other companion, as a dwarf, I'm sure you're very aware, is more than filled with stamina that I'm sure you could use in this obviously harsh time.
Clay tries to play off his best, stupid, muscle man grunt to show off his muscles. Mm.
She kind of gives Clay a look and says, "Listen, to be honest with you, I just don't really need any more help. My operation is a tight-knit one, and I've been working with these folk for years now, and I trust them, and can't afford to hire no one else."
Well-
What's the scene around her look like as we're talking to her?
Go ahead and actually, everyone can go ahead and make a perception check.
Even me?
Yep. Well, no, actually not Fizwick. Let's go with the
Yeah,
other.
he rolled a 20 though.
Sorry.
13.
10.
Yeah, that's a 5.
Okay. You notice that Sefik, though you've been very intentionally trying to keep an eye on him, has disappeared, and as have 2 other workers, and things are pretty much all packed up here. There's a couple people rolling a huge canvas tarp.
Is there anybody looking in our direction?
No, really, there's only Torga is her name, and 2 other workers left here.
And the 2 other workers are not looking in our direction?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. So is there like a big stack of like stuff that they've packed up?
Mm-hmm. Yes, there are probably like 5 or 6 sleds, and maybe like 2 axe beaks that are loaded with stuff.
Okay. I actually clap a hand over her mouth and push her over to like behind something where nobody can see us
Okay.
Oh my god.
to question her.
Let's have you go ahead and make a dexterity check, or I guess you could do athletics if you want. Yeah.
While he's doing that, has Fizwick noticed anything out of place?
17.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to say that you managed to, maybe push her up against one of the axe beaks at an angle in which the workers who are still rolling the tarp would not be able to see. Fizwick, what did you say?
As he was doing that, has Fizwick seen anything out of place? Anything a little strange or...
Fizwick, yeah, I guess. So have you been watching, I guess, is my question.
just observing the whole thing.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
watching.
I'm going to say that you maybe actually would have seen. See, for some reason I was picturing you like under the snow because of the white, but you still have your cloak on. So yeah, I'm going to say with
I'm
that
kind of
20.
into snow. I would assume that the snow's got some depth. So if I want to sink down and put my cloak over or something, I could probably just.
Yeah, right. But if you're watching, you said you rolled a 20. I'm going to say you definitely would have seen the direction that the other workers went. Back
Okay.
behind some buildings, and so you've noted the direction.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about how does Clay and Torga, are they fully covered by this axe beak? I mean,
Yeah,
are they fully obscured?
They're concealed from the workers, and other people have kind of dispersed by now. Yep.
Grukvar quietly says to Nico, suggests, let's keep walking, to try and draw attention away from that conversation, however that goes down.
Nikos will nod without saying anything, and we'll start heading towards the building that the workers were gathering around. Again, not looking like I'm going to the building, but almost like I'm walking past it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Grukvar nods in return, quietly.
Okay. And all right, Clay, let's play this out.
All right.
So, let's see.
First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to shape water. I'm going to like form a ball of ice around her hands so she can't fight back.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess we'll do this. Why don't you go ahead and roll initiative, and we're gonna do a proper little initiative here, okay? So you got the surprise round on her, definitely, and managed to...
16.
Okay. Yep, and she got a 13. So so it is your turn first. Now with shape water, I'm going to say normally you cannot like form ice. You can shape the water from something, and then you can freeze it on another turn. But given the temperature outside here, I'm going to say no. You're right. It freezes. But where do you get the water? Because you can't. You know what I mean? You can't create it, but you can shape it. If it's there.
Let me see here. I'm just reading. Let's see here.
Do you have a canister of water?
I don't, but I can change the property. Well, maybe not. Maybe it
I would say you could have a water skin at your waist. I think that's reasonable to just assume that you all.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or probably...
It says I can freeze water, but it doesn't say I can't melt water to like take it out of the snow or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess I would, if that's the way we're gonna do it, I guess I would have like undone the cap to my water skin while we were approaching her or something.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. And given the temperature, you probably all actually keep it like maybe in a breast pocket or something like that, just to keep it from freezing completely. And so yeah, you managed to kind of maybe in one motion just kind of and pour some water out and freeze it on her hands. Okay. Do you still have your hand over her mouth as well?
I do.
Okay.
So are we actually playing out a fight?
So I'm going to give her like maybe a chance to try to break free here. Okay. It's going to be pretty hard, but and then maybe if she fails that, you have her restrained for a little while at least and can say what you need to say. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say, oh boy.
Do you want me to roll like a strength check or something?
Yeah, maybe we'll just do that. Yeah.
Or saving throw or a check?
Let's just do a strength check. Yep. And actually, why don't you roll with advantage? She rolled pretty well, but I'm gonna give you advantage because, yeah, you have her.
10.
Okay. 10 with advantage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I still have inspiration. Can I use that?
Sure.
10.
Okay. All right. She manages to break free from the ice around her hands. She rolled a 20. Well, she rolled 18 plus 2. But you still kind of have her pinned against this thing, and she's kind of like, "Let me go!" And I guess muffling "let me go" as and kind of like hitting your sides a little bit.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
What would I like to do? So I've probably got both hands on her somehow. I can't just hold her in one place with one hand.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably got her pinned, like mouth maybe and chest or something like that, or around by her neck. So she's still restrained, but her arms are now free is kind of what she did on her turn, is try to break her hands.
Yeah. Okay. So then oh, you know what? So just FYI, I can create or destroy water as part of Call to the Wave.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So I don't have to. It's not like the regular cantrip. I can create my own water.
Sweet. Okay, good to know.
But anyway, so I'm gonna just say, look, be quiet. We don't want to hurt you. We just have some questions.
Okay.
If you answer our questions, we'll leave you alone.
Okay, yeah, she's kind of flailing wildly and says, what do you want? And she kind of does stop a second to kind of listen to what you have to say.
We're looking for someone. Someone we've already seen here, so don't try to lie your way out of the situation.
Who is it? Who do you want?
His name is Suffolk.
I was just looking for him too, because he's my bodyguard.
We just saw him leave the camp with 2 other workers.
And she kind of, slides down to the ground and says, she got one knee in the snow and just says, Suffolk. Yeah, he's around here somewhere. I don't know. What do you want?
Can I let you go so we can talk?
Sure. What? Asshole got a weird way of getting my attention.
Well, it's the quickest way.
What do you want with Suffolk?
That's not really any of your concern.
Well then, fine. Go find him yourself. He's around here somewhere.
Have you never wondered if there was anything strange about him?
She
You
smiles.
invite a bodyguard into your fold and never question why he is the way he is.
He's effective, and he's loyal. That's all
And
I care
dangerous.
about. Good for me.
Bad for many others.
Listen. What he chooses to do with his free time is none of my business.
One could assume that you're responsible for his extracurricular activities. He is under your employ.
You can think what you want. Does good work most of the time. Should have been closer here. It's supposed to keep me safe.
And a bodyguard who doesn't keep you safe is worth keeping around and protecting?
Well, the day was over. Anyway, are we done here?
No, what can you tell me about him?
He's a fine dresser.
I pull one of my axes out and hold it up to her neck.
She backs
What
up.
else? What else can you tell me about him?
Make an intimidation check. And I'm just going to roll to see if... yeah, no, okay.
10.
Okay. Yeah, she says, ain't got nothing else to tell you. What, are you going to kill me?
No, but my goblin friend might.
That's funny. I don't see anyone around here.
Fizwick, I'm hoping you heard that.
Fizwick definitely heard it, but he's still staying disclosed.
I love stealth.
You just got blocked, or
I
He's
got
not
gob
saying
blocked.
Gob's
it's real
blocked.
quiet. You don't hear no movement, nothing.
I just grit my teeth and growl. Boy, what do I do now? Crap.
What's going on our end,
I
Nate?
know this isn't helping
So-
our relationship any, but just still silence from the peanut gallery here.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what my options are here.
So, Alex and Michael, where did you guys head off to?
Towards the building that some of them were resting in.
Okay. Yeah, so you don't see anyone around. There's maybe a couple of the workers setting up a tent, and that's about it.
Do we see Suffolk at all?
No, you don't.
I want to go to the area that we last saw Sefik, and I want to see if I can find footprints.
Okay. Yep.
Nick-
And let's go back to Clay for a second.
Wait, I
Yeah,
just got
go ahead.
confused. Are we saying, did we lose track of Sepik and I'm the one that saw him leave?
Yeah, so you saw the direction he headed.
Sorry, I misunderstood that.
That's right.
Did I go back in time and like pop out of the ground in a hole from a snow hole?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, do you want to try to follow him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
We can retcon that. I'm okay with it.
if I follow him though, no one's gonna know that I followed him, right? I'm just.
That's
Well,
the,
I mean,
that's the
then
downside
my-
of being such a stealthy guy.
Then my threat would truly be hollow.
I take it back. Fizwick stays in his snow hole.
Okay.
All right.
Back to Clay.
Sorry, man.
No, I'm trying. Like, I think can I roll to see if I believe that she genuinely doesn't know what he does after hours?
Well,
or,
I mean,
or would I gather that information? Would I have understood that anyway?
I think you probably got the impression that she does know, I would say. And it's just like,
She does know
whatever.
what he does.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
she seems like a pretty rough and tumble sort of person. And the other workers she has, they look pretty rough too. We'll just say that.
Okay.
And a lot of the goods, you know, if you know anything about Torgs, you can expect there to be some stolen stuff. There, you can expect there to be inflated prices, and you know, it's a shady outfit. So
Okay.
she doesn't seem too concerned.
Okay. I'm gonna tell her that you know, you can keep your peace if you want, but you're just gonna have to tell it to the authorities when we bring you back to town.
What the
And
heck?
then I actually try to like knock her out.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make an attack with unlethal damage. Probably.
This could be either really embarrassing or effective. Does it count if it hit my keyboard?
I'm afraid
Can I
not.
say Fizwick has managed to get behind her over all this time? He's been moving like a slug.
Sure, go ahead and make a stealth check, Fizwick. Yeah.
So what's the
So
if it hits my keyboard?
I don't know. It's up to you.
20. Roll a 13 plus 7.
All right. So Fizwick is hidden. Clay, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 1,
All right.
but it bumped against my keyboard.
I think if you rolled a 20, you would want to keep it. So I'm going to say that we're keeping the 1.
Fizwick,
So
Fizwick immediately lunge up and do what he wanted to do.
yeah, you have seen Clay, and Clay, what are you hitting with? Are you trying to knock her out with your fist? What's going on?
Yeah, I was just gonna punch her in the side of the head.
Okay. Yeah, so she just rolls right out of the way, and your fist sinks into some icy snow. And Fizwick, I'll say you're up.
I want to basically just do exactly what he did and just go for the. Well, you were hitting her with your fists, right?
Well, yeah, I wanted to knock her out so that she couldn't scream once I got up and walked away.
Can Fizwick try to hit her on the back of the head with his pommel of his
Yes,
sword?
absolutely. And so Grukvar and Nikos, you guys hear her kind of roar, and you get the sense of a scuffle going on. All right, Fizwick, you can go ahead and make your attack roll.
Okay. Cool. With my rapier? Okay.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah, just make it like a normal rapier attack, and we'll say it's non-lethal
16.
damage. Okay, 16 is a hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
4.
Okay, 4 damage. All right, good. So you have yeah, you've hit her on the head, and she grabs her head. Whoa, I just dropped my pen. There we go. She grabs her head and cries out, and she is going to go to grab. Sorry, just a moment here. Wasn't expecting to need her stat block. So there we go. All right. So yeah, she actually pulls out a dagger from her belt, just the quickest thing she can grab, and stands up. Go ahead.
Can I go back into stealth after this?
Yeah, so actually, good point. If you want to on your turn, you can still move and hide. And I'm going to say she's not going to get an opportunity attack on you because she is prone.
Okay.
So, yep, go ahead and make a stealth check again to see if you manage to hide.
10?
You get the feeling that you might be hidden. All right. So now it is, and I'm going to ask, actually, she pulls a dagger. She is going to actually lunge and attack Clay and say, "Stay away from me." And she yells out, "Help!" And she lunges with her dagger, and she is going to miss you, Clay. And then I'm going to say, Grukvar and Nikos, what would you all like to do?
I run towards the action. We're pretty far away at this point, so I think for this turn, I'm going to use my dash to get there.
Yep. Nikos?
Nikos will I'm going to cast Firebolt. But what is there any kind? Actually, you know what? So she's next to one of the axe beaks, next to some of the supplies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said that there were multiple supplies.
Yes, there are.
Cool. I'm gonna cast Firebolt on one of the supply wagons.
Sleds.
Not where they are.
Okay, so you're gonna cast it on one of the 5 sleds.
Yep.
All right, go ahead and make your attack roll.
All right. Attack roll. That is an 11.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely managed to hit the one that you are aiming for, and it lights up in flame. All right. Next up, actually, I'm going to have Fizwick, Nikos, and Grukvar roll initiative so that we can get a proper order going here.
$14.
All right. And
4.
okay. Good. And
a 17.
okay. Nikos. All right. So we are now in. Oh, and Grukvar, you got a 14. You said.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So we are now kind of going to start over in proper initiative order, and it is actually Nikos' turn once again. So Nikos, you've just lit a sled on fire, and you can see evidence of the scuffle.
Cool. So just for angle-wise, if people were to come running towards them, they would see the axe beak, but not Clay and the woman because they're behind that axe beak. Is that correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Cool.
I'm going to try, actually, to... so I did not really prepare a battle map for this scene, but I'm going to try real quick to get something going just so we can see a bit of positioning. You know what? Actually, no. I'm going to say that's going to take more time than it's worth, and we're just going to keep going. So, yeah, what you described is accurate, Nikos.
Great. In which case, I'm going to launch another firebolt at another wagon, and at the same time, just be yelling out, "Help! Help! Fire!" And I'm going to try and drown out the calls for her help.
Okay.
Grab the buckets! Quickly!
Okay. Yeah, you see a couple people kind of turn up and run over a couple of the workers who were rolling up that tarp in particular. Are the first to kind of run over and start trying to maybe put the tarp over the flames instead. Yeah. All right, and next up we have Clay's turn. Clay, what would you like? Oh, I think you're muted.
Oops. So she's kind of like, she's prone basically, right?
She has gotten up now and taken a lunge at you with her dagger.
Okay, I'm going to lunge back with the intent of sort of pinning her down to the ground bodily, and just say, your goods are quickly disappearing. Is it worth it?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make, let's do an opposed strength check to see if you can manage to wrestle her to the ground.
Haha, that's more like it. 19.
Okay, yes, you managed to have her pinned to the ground for the moment.
Okay, and I say that to her as well.
Okay. Excellent. All right, it is her turn, and she is just going to say, "The hell off of me!" And she rolls a natural 1. So yeah, she is not going anywhere. In fact, she's starting to choke on her own spit as she's starting to regret opening her mouth. All right.
About time.
Now it is Grukvar.
I am now next to.
Yeah,
Clay
I'll say
and-
that you managed to dash to the action, and now you can actually take an action. Yep.
I'm holding my holy symbol in one of my hands, and I reach over my other hand and I lightly touch Clay's arm, and I cast guidance, which is a cantrip. And what that does is that Clay will be able to roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of his choice. And you can roll that die before or after you roll the regular roll.
Okay.
And I'll be I had to concentrate to hold that spell, but I'll just concentrate on that.
Very good. All right. And do you want to move at all or anything, or are you staying?
I'm going to stay right here.
Okay. Fizwick, you are next. So Clay has him pinned, or her pinned to the ground. You see a couple workers trying to put out the fire. What would you like to do?
Can I sneak over to the axe beaks and round them up? Jump on one and bring them over to my fellow adventurers here? Because obviously this is a fight we don't need, and I'd rather go off in a direction of the guy. She's obviously not who we're looking for. So I would like to try to steal these axe beaks, show up with one, and have a couple more with me to have my friends jump on and just split this. Get out of here.
Yeah. All right. You can make an animal handling check.
$16.
Okay. You manage to hop on one of the axe beaks. It is a little bit startled, but you make it up and you have the reins. And do you want to ride in a certain direction?
I want to grab the other axe beaks and see if I can ride towards my friends.
Okay, so your friends happen to be right here, all except Nikos. So your friends are actually right by the axe beaks already. But Nikos is a little bit further away. And there are 2 axe beaks total here.
So Fizwick would like to take the axe beaks and leave his friends behind.
Fizwick would like to run over, see if I can give one to Clay and one to. Wait, there's 2 axe beaks total.
Yes, there are 2 total here.
Oh. Can he just try to screw that and say he takes the 2 and he just plows through her?
Clay is on top of her right now.
Yeah, we're gonna meet in the parking lot later if you do stuff like that.
I mean, you could ask them, hey, get on. That's one option. Or you could go and pick up Nikos and
there's 4 of
run
us.
off in pursuit.
Yeah, can I just run up and ask him?
Get on, guys! Get on! Get on!
Sure. And then we actually do have Nikos and Clay acting before her again. So, yeah, is that all you'd like to do on your turn, Fizwick?
Yeah, I didn't know we could get so many people on one, but yeah, totally.
I mean, it would be a little ramshackle, but
yeah, all
It's like some weird dark Dr. Seuss illustration.
it's like 8 people in a Toyota Celica, but yes. All right, so we're going to Nikos next. Nikos, you've seen Fizwick jump up and mount one of the axe beaks and grab the others and holler for his friends to get on.
Yep, I'm not going to hesitate. I will go onto one of the axe beaks that Fizwick had procured and sort of.
Fizwick also has a potion or a scroll, doesn't he, of animal handling?
Yes, it is a scroll of animal friendship.
Oh, wait. We'll hold this off for. It sounds like Fizwick has got this without it, so let's just keep going with this.
All right. So, and actually, that I messed up, and that actually has to be used by a magic user who would have that spell on their spell list. So perhaps Nikos or Grukvar could use that just for future reference. All right. But Nikos, yes. So you're a little bit further off, but you managed to run up, the 20 feet or whatever to the axe beak and jump on one of the axe beaks. Next, anything else you'd like to do?
Is the woman still kind of like pissed off and attacking?
She's pinned and just choking on her own spittle.
Okay. No, that'll be all. I didn't feel the necessity to attack her or anyone, in fact. So I'm good. I'm done.
Okay. Good. Let's go to Clay.
All right. I'm just gonna stay on top of her and just I'm gonna ignore the pleas to get on the birds,
Okay.
and I'm gonna give her another chance and just say, tell us what we want to know now, or it's all your profits are gonna burn.
All right. And yeah, she just says, fine. He's a killer, all right? I think he's done some bad things. What do you want to hear?
All of it.
That's all I know. He's shady. He's evil. What? He keeps me safe.
Can I, as now my attack, can I try to knock her out again? But this time with the butt of my axe.
Sure, yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll.
And also while raging.
Yes. Now is going into a rage a bonus action?
It is a yes.
Yep, then you're good. Go for it.
Okay.
So you enter a rage at her insolence.
So
and-
now wait, so this thing that Grukvar gave me, can I add that to my attack roll,
No,
or do I?
ability. It's an ability roll. It'd be like if you did a strength check or something.
Is that
Okay.
guidance? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was guidance. You can't use it for attack.
Okay. So that would be. Oops, hold on a second. So that's. Come on, computer. So 18 to hit.
All right. Yeah, that's a hit. You land a solid blow on her head. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Hold on. So again, I'm very specifically not trying to kill her.
Yep.
Where the heck? Well, apparently the D6s are the heavy ones and they sink to the bottom of the bag. 6.
Okay, 6 damage.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, given enough time, and she's pinned, I'm just gonna say that's not technically enough damage to knock her out, but we're just gonna say yes, you knock her out. She's surrounded. She's got no help really, and it's bound to happen. So yes, let's just say she is knocked
Otherwise,
out.
we're going to be playing out that scene from Austin Powers. I think I broke my leg. I broke my other leg. Why do you keep hitting me?
Yes, or we'll hear the Monty Python voice. I'm not unconscious yet. All right.
Your leg's off.
I've got 8 lumps on my head, but I'm not unconscious yet. All right, so yes, she's knocked out cold. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
The only thing I can do is move, so I think I'm just going to stand.
Okay.
Assuming that the other 2 didn't take off yet, their turn was getting on the creatures.
Yeah, and they're not taken off yet. Yep.
Okay.
All right, Grukvar, it is your turn.
When Nikos lit that sled on fire, did anybody from the company take notice and like move towards it?
Yes, there are 2 people furiously working right now trying to pat the flames with a tarp.
And then who's on an axe beak right now? Just Fizz?
Nikos and Fizwick.
Okay.
And the workers have taken note of the axe beaks and are starting to go. Sort of thing. Yep.
I'm getting on an
I
axe
don't
beak
hear what
too.
they're saying, but yeah.
I'm gonna get on an axe beak too.
All right.
As well.
All right. Good. Grukvar, you are up on one of the axe beaks. I'll say you're probably on the one with Fizwick again, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to.
Can I do one more thing? Can I do a cantrip as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I guess that would be my action, I suppose, or my movement rather. I am going to use thaumaturgy to cast, create the sound of rumbling thunder by the actually slightly farther away than the sled. I want to try and do something to continue to draw their attention away.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say they definitely, glance behind them and just are seeming bewildered. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Next up, it is Fizwick's turn. What would you like to do?
Fizwick wants to see if he can ride around to the flames where they're trying to put it out, and he has a flask of oil. He wants to see if he could just not use all the oil, but he wants to see if he can give it a good little bit of juice, right?
All right. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's have you go ahead and make an animal handling check just to effectively get out your oil and, sprinkle some while you are riding an axe beak.
All right, it'd be 22.
Ooh, nice. All right, so yeah, you managed to, spread some of this, and the workers are, as you kind of ride by, are now beginning to take chase. Yeah. All right. Anything else you'd like to do? Nice.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Anything else you'd like to do, Fizwick?
Really just head out of the way. Get out of there now.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That brings us back up to Nikos. You are on top of the other axe beak, I believe, near Clay.
Yeah. So Nikos is going to reach down and say, "Quickly, get on!" and sort of reach down to sort of take Clay's arm and sort of fling him onto the axe beak and then take off.
Okay, so Clay, would you accept?
I weigh 200 pounds.
Look, I'm not fireman carrying you, mate. Okay, if you don't want to come up, that's fine. I'll leave you on the ground.
Clay, would you try to get on, or what are you thinking?
I plan on getting on under my own power.
Okay, so yeah.
I mean, there's no reason to stick around here anymore.
Yep. Good. So yeah, you kind of maybe push aside Nikos's hand and just kind of grab on, and this thing is already loaded with goods, and now the two of you, and so you're both just kind of like.
Oh wait, I thought there were 3 total.
No, there are 2. There were 3 that you guys rode
boy.
here, but these are 2 that belong to the traveling trading company.
Okay. Well, that's not going to work probably, do you think?
I mean, I think it would work. It just looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not going to, this axe beak is not going to take you real far. I mean, you're not going to be able to travel back to
Can
another
I-
town
can I-
with this, but
Can I like shove all the goods off?
sure, absolutely. Yeah,
They
so
like really lash to him.
yeah, no, I'll say that you managed to maybe just like, sure, undo a couple straps real quick, and you hop on, and Torga is just kind of laying there unconscious in the snow while all this is happening. The other two workers are still kind of distracted by Fizwick, and yeah, so Nikos, as the one now who is kind of in the front steering this thing,
I'm not putting my arms around you.
are you following Fizwick, and where is Fizwick headed? So first, Nikos.
Yes. Okay, so Nikos whispers some muttering thing in a different language about fragile masculinity, and then we'll chase after Fizwick.
Okay. Excellent. Fizwick, where are you headed?
He's determined. He's following these tracks of the septic. Or
As we ride out, I want to pull a torch out of my bag and light it and throw it on another sled of goods. Of
Okay.
ill-gotten gains.
Yeah, go ahead and make, we'll just say an animal handling check as well, just to see kind of how effectively you can do this while riding. While clinging, I should say.
Well, 12. Oh, wait, that's a check, right?
Yeah, so animal handling check, so you can add...
14.
All right. Good. So yeah, you managed to get some, and maybe there's even a little bit of oil on this one from Fizwick's splashings that, you know, managed to just send it up, at least in one part of it, even more quickly. As you kind of whiz past these two totally stupefied workers who are just kind of, you know, doing their fist shaking and probably cursing at you right now as you all ride off kind of out of town here. Fizwick leading the way in these tracks from Suffolk Caltro. Fizwick, go ahead and make a survival check for me if you would. And if anyone else, you know, wants to, they could also probably see the footprints that Fizwick is following and also make a survival check. While you're doing that, the rest of the town is people are starting to come out of homes and you know, eyeing what's going on here, seeing the cursing. They're probably looking at you with some suspicion now, but are unable to catch you at the moment. Okay, what'd you get for survival, Fizz?
22.
All right. You are effectively able to follow these tracks. Anyone else get rolls there?
17.
Oh, were we all supposed to roll?
You don't really need to now that Fizwick rolled really well, but
Good.
yep. So, yeah, but you know, Grukvar, you also managed to you know, eye the tracks as well. Another pair of eyes on the tracks certainly doesn't help. And you come to after some time now a ravine. And so it is steep sides on both sides, and you enter the ravine and you see a figure that seems to be squatted down, writing in a book of some kind, and seems to be smoking a pipe. And in the distance, you see Suffolk Caltro hear you coming and stands up, discards his book, and draws a blade from a sheath, shimmering blue, and stands there poised and ready to face what comes his way. And that is where we will end this session.
Awesome.
All right, I got my confirmation of his guilt, so we're good to go.
Yeah. Not even gonna ask him a question. Just, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
So yes, we will pick up there next time and see how the party fares against Suffolk Caltro. You guys are still level 2, and we do use the milestone leveling for this adventure, and so I believe that after this quest and then one more, you guys will be able to level up. Yeah, I want to thank everyone in the chat for hanging out with us and interacting. I did a bad thing, and I totally forgot to let these guys introduce themselves after the break, even though I was like, when we come back from the break, I'm going to do this, and I still spaced it out. So I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves and give a plug for anything they would like to before we go. You guys are welcome to do so. So why don't we start with Nikos, Michael.
Cool. Hey guys, my name's Michael. I am playing the role of Nikos, the sorcerer, and you can find me as the Dead Aussie Gamer on a whole bunch of different platforms. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, you name it, you find me. I'm a professional role player and game master, and I give my advice videos on YouTube, and I do a whole bunch of live plays on my Twitch. Right now, probably the biggest things I'm working on at the moment are a show for Game On Australia, where I get to play a giant Saurian Tyrannosaurus Rex time wizard, which is fun. And on Sundays, I am in a new series that has just started up on both my YouTube and Twitch channel, Rune Lord Legacy, where we're playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition's Rise of the Rune Lord. Oh, sorry, Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but the 1st edition adventure, Rise of the Rune Lords, where I am playing a summoner by the name of Malvolo and his puppet from Brooklyn, Collodi. So that one's a lot of fun. We started our first episode this last weekend, just gone past. So, if you want to come check that out, that'd be awesome. Yay!
Yeah, Michael does good stuff. Check him out on Dead Aussie Gamer. If I did my job, I have a link to some of his stuff in the video description. If I forgot in episode 2 here, I will very soon add that. But yes,
You definitely have it there, Nate.
okay, good. Hey, I'm not terrible. Fizwick, Will, why don't you go?
I recently made an Etsy shop where I make Dungeons and Dragons jewelry, and I've got some other cool stuff on there, and Nate was so cool that he put the link in the description. I haven't sold shit yet, but I got 3 custom orders, and maybe you're gonna buy some stuff from me, maybe not. Other than that, I got a YouTube. You can look at my YouTube. I said hi in the comments, Darksea Workshop. I made one video of pouring resin and synth music. If you like art and synth music, maybe check it out. Yeah, that's it, man. Buy some of my shit, and thanks for watching Nate's videos.
Yep, quality jewelry, really. Yeah, I mean, like, beautiful stuff, and some dice too, and working on more.
Dice sets. Yeah, dice sets coming soon.
Yeah, really beautiful stuff. All right, why don't we go to Alex?
Hi, everybody. I'm Alex Bierhorst. Don't have anything to plug right now. I did, though, recently start reading through Appendix N, which is the appendix at the end of the original Dungeon Master's Guide. I think Gygax, maybe Arneson as well, both put in a huge long list of authors that kind of inspired the original Dungeons and Dragons. And just finished reading The Dying Earth by Jack Vance. It's really interesting. If anybody else out there has done this similar thing and they have a favorite book or author from that list, maybe like drop it in the chat. I'd like to see it.
Cool. Yeah. And Ryan.
Hey, Ryan Norman here. I also don't have anything to plug, at least not on the interwebs, although I spend almost 100% of my time there. I paint minis. I take commissions. If anybody is interested, let me know. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot to report.
Do you have a place that people can find you for these minis?
No.
Yeah, I wonder if we should put your email address or something in the video description next time.
Yeah, we can do that. I do plan to put something up soon, just with family and full-time job.
Yep.
I haven't had time.
For sure.
It's life.
For sure. All right. I also added a picture of Suffolk Caltro below here, which if I had been a little more on the spot, my timing would have been better in terms of, you see him draw his blade and, but I wasn't that on it.
Well, somebody wrestled a poor woman to the ground, so that's,
that was to be expected. They give her stat block for a reason. And she's not a poor woman. She's a grizzled, corrupt, dwarven smuggler, basically. So, you know.
That's what I was banking on. She's not just like some secretary that got mixed up in something over her head.
No.
Hey, Nate, I was reading one of the old modules for the original Dungeons and Dragons, and one thing I noticed is that for like every single NPC you come across, they include how much money they have on them because they expect you to take them for all their work.
Absolutely.
That's funny.
The old
Dang it,
style
we
of play.
We didn't loot her body.
Fizwick, you idiot.
There was no role playing beyond how much gold can I get for a lot of people back in those days.
Very true. Yep.
Once again, Fizwick swindled me out of some cash.
The ball.
Just before we forget, Nate, for those
Yeah.
people who don't necessarily know about you and WASD20.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you can find me on WASD20. Thank you for that. This is the live channel, and I also, of course, have the main channel. I haven't put out videos in quite some time, mostly because COVID school is crazy school, and I'm a teacher, so it's been a crazy school year, but things are going all right. And yeah, definitely. I'm actually working on a guide to. I'll probably call it something like, which quest do I start with for the Icewind Dale 10 Towns quests, all 12 of them. And so I'm hoping to get that out this week. And you can catch us next time, guys, 2 weeks from today, which the day of that would be the 2nd of November. So November 2nd is a Monday night. Hope that you all come back and join us. Gratal Sajed is something that you can probably look up and we will hear more about soon, because I've seen a couple people asking, what is a Gratal?
And if you want to see weekly shows, let him know in the comments.
And then find somebody to replace Clay on those off
ago.
weeks, because his wife won't let him play that often.
Yeah, and find me a
Extra time.
Yes. Anyway, yes, thank you all so much for joining here. I feel like there's one last plug I'm going to give. There's a cool Kickstarter going on. My friends at Absolute Tabletop are running a Kickstarter for some cool miniatures, Dragon Grin miniatures. They're these unique marrow soldiers, and I put a link to those down in the description below as well. I think there's about like maybe 36-ish hours left on their Kickstarter. So some cool minis. I backed him. And yeah, that's where we're going to end this one. Thanks again, everybody, for joining and watching and enjoying this. And thanks to these wonderful players for diving into Icewind Dale with me. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.